Hello my lovely goons and gals, Doug here with the Born a Goon channel, and I have a very special video for you today. It's going to be the 2022 Super Exhaust Pipe Shootout. The very best exhaust pipe for your dirt bike or your dual sport bike, and I tell you what, who doesn't like pipes, right? So we're going to talk about which one of these are the best pipes for you to buy for your motorcycle, and we have three viable contenders for the crown today. We have the Graves Full Titanium Exhaust. We have the FMF 4-in-1 in anodized blue and the Yoshimura RS4. All of these have been tested on the CRF 450 RL, and they've been tested with the latest ECUs. Every setting available in the Vortex ECU, every setting available in the AIM Taipan ECU, and every setting in the Athena Get ECU. Now, if some of you are interested in ECUs, remember about a month ago I did the Super Dual Sport ECU Shootout. I will post a link down in the description box, as well as the picture up here in the corner if that's something that you're interested in. But we're going to review these pipes, and I'm going to tell you everything good, bad, and ugly between these, and we will pick a winner, so stay tuned. So before I get started with today's video, I just want to give a big shout out to Taco Mike at Taco Moto and the rest of his team for loaning these out for the shootout. Now at the time they only had the Graves exhaust in stock, so the Yoshimura and the FMF actually came off of the employee's motorcycle, so they were kind enough to loan me these for the shootout. So I do hope you guys enjoy this, and again, it was really awesome of Mike and his team there at Taco Moto to do this for us. All right, goons and gals, let's begin by taking a brief overview of our contenders. We'll start out by looking at the Graves Full Titanium Exhaust. And this is the only full titanium exhaust in the shootout today. The other ones will use titanium in them, but they're not full titanium. So the entire canister, the entire header, completely titanium, and you can tell. It may look a little bit burly compared to the others, but it is incredibly lightweight and very, very well built. I would say that the Graves is also the least known out of this trio. More people recognize the FMF than the RS4, especially when it comes to the CRF 450 RL. But just because they have a strong road racing heritage, don't let that fool you with their ability to make quality off-road products. We're going to get into the power in just a minute. But this is a really nice unit. And some of you may know Chuck Graves, Graves Yamaha that races in Moto America. Also a well-established racer himself. Remember this guy rolling around Willow 25 years ago in the days that I used to race there. Incredibly cool guy, knows his stuff when it comes to it. I would say this is also the most expensive one out of the list because it is completely titanium and you get what you pay for. I think on the low end you might be able to find this for about $1,100. And guys, don't quote me on my prices. I just did a quick internet search on them. This just depends on when you buy them, how you buy them, and discounts, deals, and so on, and COVID, blah, blah, blah. I think you're looking at about low end $1,100, high end $1,350 to $1,400 for it. Now that brings me into the FMF 4-in-1. I like this blue anodized look on this, by the way. Very popular. I mean, everybody knows the Flying Machine Factory. Donnie Elmer, been around since the 1970s. FMF is FMF, right up there with Pro Circuit as a well-known brand for this bike. This one feels a little bit heavier. We're going to get into weights here in just a second, but I would say this one's just a tad bit heavier, but it's a good-looking exhaust, and it is a little bit thinner. Right? Let's take a look. A little bit thinner, if I can put these two here, than the Graves. Probably the thinnest one out of the group would be this one. And then last, we have the tried and true Yosh RS4. Popular because Yosh does a lot of research and development with Honda, so a popular exhaust for Honda. Now, I'm not doing sophisticated weights here on scales, but this one is definitely heavier than the other two by probably a good pound or a quarter of a kilo, if that even makes sense. So it's definitely a little bit heavier, so we'll get into that in just a second. So those are your three contenders, well known. And the most important thing that you guys want to know is which one's the best for your bike, which one has the most power, which one has the most torque, which one is the fastest, which is the best for your kind of riding. And I want you to know I've done countless hours of research and testing on these. I've ridden them with all the different ECUs. I put them in different types of variations, and a lot of scientific data went into this. A lot of research went into this. And the only way that I can show you guys exactly how good they are and translate such amazing scientific data to you is only one way. You know what it is, right? The butt dyno.
It's the only chart that doesn't lie. I mean, we don't care about what numbers are here at the Goon. It's the butt dyno. What does it feel like when you put the thing on and twist the throttle, man? That's what we're here. So if it's your first time, the butt dyno, imaginary horsepower, imaginary RPMs, what does the thing feel like? So I've got 3 different categories here: FMF, Graves, Yosh. So here's what happens. You put the FMF on, you twist your throttle, man, the bike's got torque, it's got mid, it's got top, just roll, 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 roll. You put it on the Graves, guess what? You turn on the throttle, oh, it just starts out, just keeps going. It's got tons of torque, tons of minch range, just roll, 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 roll right off the thing. Wonder what happens when you put the Yosh in. Oh, it just takes off. It just has all kinds of mid-range, all kinds of torque, all kinds of power, and just keeps on grinding and grinding and grinding away. Do you know where I'm going with this? I cannot tell a difference power-wise between any one of these. Now, I don't know what other people have said about them, but me, either I'm the worst tester in the world, or there just really isn't that much difference between the power of any one of these units. Honestly, I couldn't tell a difference after spending days individually with these, writing down details, couldn't determine what was what. In fact, I put a blindfold on, had a friend put the exhausts on, rode it, then came back, put another one on, rode it. So I didn't see what exhaust was on the bike. I just went out and rode it. And then I had this little chart I would mark. I got all of them wrong. I couldn't even pick out which one I was riding. That's how close they are. So if you want to cut yourself short right here and say which is the winner, you know what? It doesn't matter. If power is your only goal, it does not matter. But there's a promise that the Goon always has, and that is there is always a winner in our contest. We will declare a winner because somebody has to win. We don't want to watch a fight that ends in a draw. We don't want games that end up in ties. We need a winner. Which means in order for me to determine a winner here, we've got to have some silly subjects that may or may not be important to other people, but that's what we got to do to determine a winner. So because there's not a power difference in any of these, or a noticeable one at that, what would be a reason that you would actually buy one of these? What would be a determining factor between one and the other? And I think the first category that would be more important to riders would be weight savings. I mean, this right here, I don't even know if I could pick it up. This is the stock exhaust. It is heavy. It says 13 pounds. Man, it's heavy. It feels maybe 15. It's a heavy, heavy pipe. And everybody knows that, and we know why. You've got emissions, you've got catalytic converters in there, all that good stuff. So by doing these, you're saving a considerable amount of weight. So that might be one reason you want to do this, for weight savings. Now, when it comes to weight, I'm not weighing these via a scale. You know, we do everything here, you know, by feel only. I would say that this Graves is really, really light. I think what it says is about 8 pounds on the internet. I think it's lighter than that. It feels to me like it's about 6.5, 7 pounds. It is a really, really super lightweight exhaust. Now, the FMF claims to be lighter, but having them here, I don't feel this. Maybe the scale don't lie. They're very, very close, but to me, I feel that you've got a few extra ounces here, fraction of a kilo on the FMF. Is it huge? No, but it's there. You can feel it a little bit, but they're all better than the stock. And obviously you can tell by the size, the Yosh here is I'd say it's a good pound heavier than both of these. So if we were to rate these by weight, I would say the Graves would be the winner as far as being the lightest, and it is full titanium. The FMF would be a very close second. Who knows, you know, maybe a scale would tell a different story. They're very, very close. And the Yosh would be last based on weight. Nonetheless, all of them are almost 50% lighter than your stock exhaust. It's a significant weight savings that each one of these gives you. Now, on the subject of weight, the weight is really in the canister. This is the Yosh header. I can't show you the Graves header because it is on the bike. This is the Yosh, this is the FMF, which looks like food in a snake's belly right here. And this is this is the stock. The stock Honda header is lighter than the FMF, lighter than this one here, and about this, definitely lighter than the Yosh. So the actual header on the Honda is pretty lightweight. It's really all in the weight is all in the canister, and we can get into that whether you want to use one of these as a slip-on. But as far as these weights here, they're a little bit more than the stock. So the real weight coming here, the real weight savings obviously, is in the can, first, second, and third. Now another reason that you may find yourself wanting an exhaust is definitely the sound. Obviously, some people really love the sound of motorcycles. I am one of them. And these stock bikes don't have that sound. They have so much restrictions in them that they feel muffled, and these have really, really nice sounds. Now, I'm not going to pick a winner for that, but what I did do here is I did film each one of these. It wasn't in super high def audio, of course not here at the Goon, but I did film each one of them. I'm going to play that here right now. You listen to the sound. This has the AIM ECU in it. And by the way, one thing I wanted to talk about there as well is when I did film that originally, I have the decibel saver, right? I'm calling it a decibel saver. That's not the name. There's a little thing on the back, which detunes, I can't even think what I'm saying, dampens the sound a little bit. One cool thing about the Graves is you can pop this off and it sounds incredibly loud. But you go ahead and listen to these, make your own choices, and then we'll pick up from there. So that was the sound. Again, be your own judge there. I personally like the sound of the Graves as well, and I like the fact that you can dampen that sound with this little cone on the end, or you can take it off and it'll just sound just as loud as the FMF. So you have the option to use either or, and that's a nice little feature. Again, you get what you pay for. So from there, you might say, what is about fit and finish? So again, we're looking at little micro details that might separate each one of these. And I can just tell you right now, in this category, out of all of them, there is a hands down winner, and that is this Graves. It is a full titanium exhaust, and it is hella well built, and the camera will not do this justice. The fit and finish on this is incredibly sturdy looking. It looks thick, it looks beefy, it looks badass, but it's ultra light. Now, I wasn't able to show you the header on it. It is a nice thick header on this bike. Fit and finish on this is incredible. The welds are really, really nice and clean. So if appearance is something that obviously it is something to everybody, but if fit and finish, quality craftsmanship, workmanship, attention to detail is something that is of an importance to you, you're one of those people that like that and appreciate quality work, Graves hands down here. Between these two, it's kind of I would say the Yosh feels a little bit more well-built of a unit, especially when it comes to the header pipe. The header pipe seems to just be more well-built. This FMF, this is just my opinion only, man. That's all I can do right here. Feels a little bit, you can tell that it's mass-produced. You can tell that there's some manufacturing flaws there. How bad is it for someone like me that doesn't give a damn about that stuff? It's just performance only. Not a big deal. For some people that are a little bit more picky, since you're paying the money for something like this, if that's important to you, that's how I would rank them. 1, 2, and then the FMF in third. Now, another reason that you may want to buy an exhaust pipe like this, since again, power is not of an issue here, they all have adequate power, is the looks. And I think next to sound, like this, your three main weight, looks, sound is why you're actually buying the pipe. And I'll get into that in detail a little bit more. This is going to be something that's a personal preference to each and every one of you. I like the look of this FMF in blue. I'm attracted to the blue. If it wasn't blue and it was the regular one, I would go with the Graves, because I keep saying what I can't show you with the Graves is the fit and finish and attention to detail on this bad boy. I mean, it looks handcrafted. Maybe it is. It's a really nice looking unit. But this one is definitely thinner than the other two. It's considerably thinner. So when you put it on your bike, it's really, really small. So that's the sleek, dynamic look you're going for when you're looking for an exhaust. This is a good one right here. I would choose it based on its looks. I know it sounds silly, but I would, since there's not much power in between them. I would choose it on its look. It's thinner, really good. I just love the blue. I mean, I really like the blue. Second, I would say that the Graves would come second here, a very close second in this one. It's definitely bigger, as you can tell. I already showed you, but I'll show you again. You can see the differences are pretty noticeable. Not exceptionally huge, but it's a really, I keep saying, it's a really nice looking unit. It's that craftsmanship that really stands out with this one. And the Yosh, it just looks like a stock pipe with a sticker on it. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all, but that's what it does. It just looks like a stock pipe with a sticker. And it's heavier and it's beefier, but you know, maybe that's your thing. Maybe you like the red color that it complements the Honda really nice. I don't know. So for me, again, this is rider specific. Each one of these will have different viewpoints from the rider. I would say the FMF looks the nicest for me, and that's because it's blue and smaller. The Graves would be a close second because of the fit and finish and that titanium look to it. I'm sure you could blue this out too, right? You could blue it out on your own if you wanted to do it. It would probably be badass. I'm too lazy for that. And then I would put the Yosh down here in third. So when you look at those categories, when it comes to mounting, they were all relatively the same. When it came to power, they were the same. Sound, that's up to you, what you think is the sound. So really when it comes down to getting the pipe, it's more of a look, sound, and weight savings purchase. You have to decide which one of them, because honestly, there isn't a power difference. And again, guys, I ran these in all of the ECUs. So I even ran in the Vortex, I ran the FMF settings with the Yosh. The Yosh settings, I use the Yosh on the FMF and use the FMF settings, and I just went through every single program, every map setting with every one of them. Honestly, could not tell which one made a better difference than the other. So actually choosing a winner comes down to weight, which they're all saving you weight, looks, sound, fit and finish and workmanship, right? And that's about it in the way that it looks on your bike. Now this brings me to my final thoughts. And maybe what I say here isn't popular opinion, but I'm here to tell you like it is. I want to talk about this thing. This is a hell of an exhaust. The Honda actually makes a hell of an exhaust. And I said this in a past video, especially when I put the Athenia Get ECU. I swear it runs better in stock than it did with the other pipes. So when you're getting a pipe, you're probably gaining two horsepower. I mean, really 2 horsepower on something that's already pumping out 45 to 50. To me, it's a really tough call to justify that you need to spend $1,000 to gain 2 more horsepower. Now, if you've got I just want to tell you like it is. If you got money burning a hole in your pocket, you want something that looks good, you want something that's got sound, that's your thing, I get it, man, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm not criticizing anyone here. But to spend $1,000, if you don't have the money, you don't need a pipe. Now, I've seen a lot of videos out there where people have put pipes on them when they first buy them. I get it. I've been in the biking business before. People love pipes. Who doesn't love pipes, right? But if you buy a pipe for the 450 RL before an ECU, Please don't do that. Please. Because nothing will change the complexion of this motorcycle more than an ECU. I don't care if it's the Vortex, the AIM, or the Get. Look at my ECU Shootout. That dumps about 10, 12 more horsepower. Nothing makes any bigger of a difference in that bike than the ECU. And then if you're going to turn around and run a modified exhaust on a janky CRF4 50RL wacky ECU, everybody already knows about the jerky throttle response on that thing. That's just nuts. That's all there is to it. Don't do that. Take your $1,000, buy the ECU. So if you're somebody out there, I only got $1,000 to spend on my bike, buy the ECU. I would question as to whether or not you need it. The Honda, give credit where credit is due. This is not just something they threw together. They put some work into this thing. This is better than people give it credit for. And I've run them back to back. I'm not making this up, right? This is a hell of an exhaust. Its only downfall is weight. Now maybe you could get in there and remove some pieces to make that work. But I'm just saying, if you want to buy one, buy one. If you like the sound, you like the looks, and they do look better. Like, it's hard for me to take this Graves off because of the way that it looks on the bike. So that's a good reason. I'm not faulting anybody. I get it. I'd buy one for that too. If you got the money, you want to spend it, you like the sound, you like the looks, then do it. If you don't want to do it, you want to spend something else on your bike, money's tight, I'm here to tell you don't worry about it. I've ridden all of them. You are not losing anything here but maybe 1 horsepower. And at our riding level, we're not going to use that 1 horsepower anyway. This is a pipe is a total beauty object that's not necessary for any of these bikes. You may disagree. I see it differently. Now, the only argument you could make is it saves weight, which is about 5 to 6 pounds. You have to ask yourself, is $1,200 or $1,000 worth 5 pounds? Or would it be cheaper if you just skipped breakfast? Right? Maybe you should do that and just save a couple pounds, right? Or go on a crash diet before you ride your bike. I don't know. Just my thoughts there. Look, I understand the modification thing. The only downfall to the Honda is it's heavy. Look, I can barely pick that up. And this feels like it's half of that, if not, I mean, this is just like really, really light. And understandably, that's what you have to understand. And these are really not street legal. So if you get pulled over by a cop and they want to start some trouble, you got a sticker on the back there that says competition use only. So again, guys, it comes down to a few things. For my money, where I would go, what I would buy, I'd buy the Graves. And I would do so because it is substantially lighter. So I'm getting a little bit more weight savings for that money. I can't get over the fit and finish on it. Like the header pipe, it's bluing up nice. It just looks so good on the Honda. And you got to look at it up close. It's just a really nice thing. And it's well built, like all of these mounting points, the clamp that puts the header into the engine. It's the thick piece of titanium. It's just a well-built quality unit. I'm sure it's very, very durable. Dropped it a few times. It's bomb-proof, strong. Second, I think I would pick the FMF, and I would do that because of the looks of the FMF. I just like the blue, and that would be the only reason, because it's blue. I don't care too much for the fatty pipe, the fatty header. Maybe you like that. I don't, but maybe you do. And that could be a determining factor. Maybe that's say, I like that pipe, I want that pipe, buy it. It's a little bit heavier. It is narrow, it's a little bit more thin too, so when you put it on the bike, it looks a little bit more sleek. I'd still choose the Graves. And last, I would choose the RS4, right? Just because it is heavier. Bulkier, it doesn't look quite as nice. But that would be the determining factor on who the winner is. Graves first, FMF second, RS4 third. Now maybe it comes down for price. So honestly, that's what I would choose if I had an unlimited budget. I would buy whichever one of these was the cheapest. You know, if it was my money and we weren't talking about the best of the best. So when money is involved, I would just buy the cheapest one, which is probably going to be the RS. Or if you found one on Craigslist or some other eBay or something that was used, I would just buy that. Because honestly, No difference in power on any of these. It's just a matter of weight savings, looks, sound, and if you want to spend the money. And honestly, these stock exhausts, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good, and you're not giving up much. If you're one of those riders out there, your buddy's got one of these, and you're like, I got to get one, but money's tough, and you're begging the accountant for it, don't worry about it. Just, this is pretty good. You can get by with just that. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you very much. Let me know what your input is on this. Let me know. Wish I had maybe a pro circuit or something like that. Hope I answered your questions. If not, just feel free to put them down there in the description box. And I hope I see you around here in the future for some of the other videos. And as I say with every video, whatever I said today in this video is just my opinion only, and I might be wrong.